Season 2, Episode 8, coming off a brutal loss to our rivals, the UC Santa Barbara Gauchos. And with that in mind, the word of the day in this episode is regroup. That was a loss that in real life, you have momentum going. It feels like you've turned a corner, and then to get beat down like that can definitely be humbling, a little bit agitating, right? Because it feels like, man, we moved out of the time where we were getting beat down super bad, and then to have it happen again is like, oh man, here we go again. So regroup, lots to play for, first of which is bowl eligibility, getting that 6th win, which we can do today. And if we take it one at a time, we'll see where the cards fall, but we do have a conference title game berth still available to us. The most likely route is us winning out and UCSB losing one of their remaining games, but one at a time. Here we go. Let's get into some recruiting. 3-star Dante Vigil from Los Angeles. He's going to University of Nevada, Las Vegas. So we're going to replace him on the board with 3-star linebacker Lorenzo Teal from San Mateo, which has not been a fruitful location for us to recruit. We were also locked out by 3-star edge Tyler Wozniak from Clovis, so we are replacing him with 2-star Roderick Yates from Mission Hills. Games of the week in the Big 12, we have the promotion relegation tiebreaker game. Louisiana Lafayette at Tulsa. Very important game for the Golden Hurricanes if they want to stay up in the Big 12 next season. Number 4, Texas A&M goes on the road to South Carolina for a rivalry game. We have our second showdown in the Commander-in-Chief Trophy as Army goes to Air Force. Georgia Southern takes on Georgia State. Ohio State goes to number 25, Nebraska, who is coming off a couple of dominant rivalry wins over Wisconsin and Colorado. Sam Houston goes to El Paso to take on UTEP. 15, LSU goes to Auburn. Number 22, Florida takes on number 1, Georgia. 16, K-State at number 10, Michigan, as they look to continue a march towards a three-peat. UCF at USF in the war on I-4. And number 7, Alabama at Mississippi State. Looking at the Heisman race a little beyond the halfway point of the season, Gunnar Stockton from Georgia, the quarterback, only an 83 overall, but he is in the lead currently, followed by Austin Novosad. So Dante Moore has not taken the starting role in Eugene in this dynasty. The 86 overall sophomore in second. Rodney Gallagher, the 80 overall receiver from West Virginia, is in third. Thomas Castellanos, a 90 overall quarterback from Boston College, the senior, in fourth. And then Caden Salter, who again transferred to Colorado in real life, still at Liberty in this game. He's the highest overall on this list, but in fifth, he is a 93. Moving right along, looking at Nevada, we have a common opponent with them in Middle Tennessee. We beat them 34-24. The Wolfpack 42-34 in their meeting with the Blue Raiders. Highlights of their schedule: a 41-17 road win at Ole Miss, a loss at Penn State. It was very close, 36-28. They did lose at home to Wyoming, 34-24. They run a spread offense, 4-2-5 defense. The offensive unit is anchored by Brandon Lewis, senior quarterback, 82 overall, very well-rounded, struggles under pressure, so got to get the heat on him early. Ashton Haynes, 81 overall, number 26, he's got good burst and cutting ability. At receiver, led by number 18, 80 overall, Marcus Bellon. Solid agility and underneath route running. If we can press him, we like our chances. Marquise Ashley, number 7, very similar to Bellon, but not as shifty and not as good of hands. Marshawn Brown, number 9, he's a 74 overall, 6'4", much better getting off the line, but not as great running routes. And then Garrick Robinson, who I am sure we will see as well. I believe he is their primary slot guy. Essentially a lower-rated version of the top 2 guys on the depth chart. At tight end, a 79 overall, 88. Number 88, Hayden George, solid blocker, sneaky, solid, in the mid-level with the route running. On the offensive line, at left tackle, they have Josiah Timoteo, solid puller and second-level blocker, balanced in the run and pass. Left guard, Tyson Ruffins, he is their best overall player on the offensive line, in addition to having the best name on the team. 84 overall, 92 strength, very good pass protector. Center, Andrew Madrigal, 79 overall, 92 strength as well. Balanced in the run and pass, solid, getting into the second level and getting blocks on guys not lined up on the line. Right guard, number 72, Jacobius Seth, 77 overall. Pretty good in the second level as well. Not great in the run or the pass, but he does handle counter moves pretty well. So right tackle, number 51, BJ Kelly, he's a 70 overall. So-so/average-ish in pass protection, solid in the run, not as good with counter, so almost an opposite to the right guard, Jacobius Seth. So our game plan, nothing overly special, pretty normal to what our standard is, which we haven't done in a few games, so got to get back into the swing of what that looks like. More a note for myself. Pressure on the right side on pass downs, and we want to force them to run to the left / the weak side, which works very well within our game plan. On defense, again, the 4-2-5, so same defensive scheme as Santa Barbara. At left end, Jonathan Maldonado, an 80 overall, solid pass rusher and good pursuit, not great block shedding. Right end, number 57, Dylan O'Sullivan, 78 overall, similar to Maldonado, better pursuit, worse power rusher. Defensive tackle, number 43, Nelson Papati, 77 overall, good power rusher, but not elite strength. And then defensive tackle, number 99, Philip Rimpf, just a 55 overall, does have sneaky good burst and okay quick moves, but we should be able to push him around quite a bit in this one today. At linebacker, left outside, number 22, Hezekiah Anahu Ambrosio. Really hope I'm saying that right. Great burst and zone coverage skills, vulnerable in the run game. In the middle, Drew Watson, 82 overall, playing up to an 86 overall. He is going to be all over the place. Solid awareness, play recognition, pursuit, man and zone coverage. Very good to elite. That's what I mean that with the coverage. Very good to elite coverage for a linebacker. One of the better 82, I guess 86 overalls I've ever seen. Really blown away by his ratings. It gets a little confusing because his base rating isn't 82, but they do include things like morale in this game that allow the players to play up. So he's playing up to an 86. That right outside linebacker, number 58, Jaden Legrone, 73 overall. Speed and play recognition could be issues for us. Good pursuit, but if we get him blocked, we feel pretty good. In the secondary, we're going to see a good complement of guys. First time we have pretty solid matchups all around with their corners. 77 overall, 72 overall, and 69 overall, including Gabe Pepper, who we recruited. He will be in the slot, and if all goes well, very sorry to him. Gonna have to give him a big hug. After the game, we should be going after him a pretty decent amount, especially if we get CJ Peaks in the slot when we have Spencer Strickland lined up as our true running back. But we like Peaks' route running ability versus all of their corners. Javon Moore, we like his speed versus anyone. Let's get him vertical in man versus Jackson Barton, number 24, and vertical in zone versus Gabe Pepper. LJ Young, he's got a size advantage on anyone. I would love to throw some more back shoulder balls to him. I hope to start doing that more down the line as we go in this dynasty. Get some more high-level throws down the field. But strong safety, number 15, Bishop Turner, he's a 68 overall. We want to invite him to be around the ball as much as possible. Sub personnel, Chris Smalley is going to be the rush left end. Solid, balanced rusher, vulnerable in the run game. Maldonado is going to slide to the right in that sub. Better in the run than Smalley. Rush defensive tackle is Papati. And then we got Dean Tabor as their second rush defensive tackle. He is very fast for an interior defensive lineman, but if we can go right at him in the run, we should be able to push him out of gaps. Drew Watts is going to be that linebacker 1, and then linebacker 2 is number 44, Austin Hornetio. I'm awful, everyone. I apologize. But very similar to Watts, not as good getting off of blocks. On offense, let's stay balanced in both play calling and personnel. They have a good, quick pass rush. Not an elite D-line, but the pass rush is quick, and our O-line is more built around strength, not quickness. So it could be tough, so we don't want to just start slinging it in this game. We want to stay balanced in our play calling and our personnel, but great matchups on the outside and great matchups to run in the middle. The two things we really like to do. So if we don't get flustered or stray from the game plan, we should have some awesome big play opportunities. But let's get it going. For the second time in this series, Sonoma State and Nevada, this time in Reno as Rapati and Watts. Maldonado, you can see him there. Perhaps the big three for the Wolfpack? We'll find out. Silver on silver helmet matchup. Blue on blue jersey pant combination for the Wolfpack. And the Seawolves will run out in a second here. Here are the fellas. You see it. Silver helmet, white jersey, white pants. Nevada. Sonoma State. Coming off a tough loss. A pair of 5-2 teams in this reshaped Pac-12. DeMarvin Holland with the ball. We are underway, just shy of the 25 to the 23-yard line. That is going to bring out the SSU offense, who moved the ball well a week ago. Turnovers the thorn in the side, and then once we got down big, we really showed off the fact that we are not built to play from behind as we make a challenging throw on the first play of the game, putting it in danger, but making the catch, I believe, is CJ Peaks. And it is a second and short early, and Tyson is going to get it going after the motion over from Scott McLawler. A first down, Sonoma State. And here on this one, here on that left slot, we're going to pick on Gabe Pepper. Peaks again. Again, not that breakaway speed, but he can really separate out of the break. And we have really found a good rhythm with him. Somewhat of an experiment with CJ Peaks. I wanted to see if I guess for me personally, if I played better with more agile, change of direction, route running receivers as opposed to just straight speed guys. And I think the answer is yes, as we get a misread there on the play before on the read option. The little hop-in animation from the D-end. Great job from him. Play action. Peaks on the sideline. Offense is in a bit of a rhythm here early. Changing the play. Barnes under center. Pair of tight ends. McLawler to the right. Bentley to the left. That is going to be Javon Moore in motion. Barnes hit as he tried to throw. Had a couple of options with the double posts on the left-hand side from Javon Moore and Maverick Bentley. This time it is Moore motioning in from that wide split. Dragging underneath the zone. Gonna hit him on the sideline here as we have played a few minutes in this first quarter. Seawolves in the red zone for the first time. A third down and 1. And we run duo a lot of times on this game. Again, if you're not a scheme person, don't worry about this per se. But a lot of times on this game is Scotty Mack, play action, post, touchdown. As I was saying, a lot of times on this game, the duo run concept gets blocked a lot more like an inside zone, which again, they are very similar, but there are some very key differences that this game doesn't fully embody, which highlights a whole different thing we could get into but won't. Picking on Terrell Pace here was right there. For some reason, middle of the field, I sometimes really struggle to get the player turned around to find the ball, and it has haunted us on a couple of occasions. The main one I'm thinking of as we stop the run there is in the USC game, as I had one with Kai Riggins. Could have potentially gotten an interception to really seal that one up. Instead, it was a nice quality chunk game for the Trojans. They ended up getting the first score in their, 22 unanswered point run, and we end up losing. Play action, everyone fooled, everyone down by the line, and that is a touchdown for the Wolfpack. A quick answer as Marquise Ashley with a big-time score. 7-7 in this opening frame, and we see the quick pressure get there again. Should have just gotten it out quick to the drag, but was waiting for that out route to get open. Here, going to go to Spencer Strickland. The cheese is moldy on this occasion, and he is wrapped up shy of the sticks, and it'll be Matthew York sending it away for the first time today, and it'll be taken inside the 20-yard line. Pace all over it. Tremendous play as Garrick Robinson cannot get anything going on the return. Lewis off play action, lots of time to the sideline and out of bounds. I didn't want to mention it on that first drive because we got absolutely scorched, but I think we're going to see the spot, drop, and lock really play the way it is meant to a lot more in this game as the pressure from Matthew Roderick Jr. gets home, comes off the slot. We get him matched up on the running back who is on a block and release, And I don't know how much of him just leaving like that is because he's releasing, or how much it is that he generally just lost the block and Roderick got off of him as I stumble over my words. Strickland, cheese please, this time finds room. Tremendous, snaky, sneaky conniving. First down, Seawolves, and a false start. That is the right guard, Suachu, moving the freshman. He has been so good for us. Or did I say right guard? He is the right tackle, Suachu. LJ Young on the sideline. He has found a little bit more of a role in the offense in recent weeks. Don't let that be overshadowed by the fact that he had a fumble against Santa Barbara. He has been a bigger element of this offense as of recent. Second and goal. Need to leave Gregory in for a block and release of our own there to pick up that blitz. We get sacked, put ourselves behind the sticks. Didn't really know what else to change to there. Should have gotten that post route on the outside onto an out or something from Peaks. But York puts it through the uprights, and the Seawolves are back in the lead, 10-7. Nevada back at work. Swallowed right up, number 26, Ashton Haynes. Go to him again. Marquez Carty. In position. Great run fits. And here, wanted to get blanks onto the back and then user Riggins to get over into the middle. Couldn't do it in time, and we get beat right there. And then on this one, wanted someone else to blitz. And anyway, I won't get totally lost in that. I want to stay on top of the game. Anyway, but a couple of plays where we didn't get the full concept I wanted to into work, and we get burned. Here we get it fully into work. Jaquez blanks on the spot, hitting them, ball loose, third down and 8. Lewis looking deep. Riggins and Solomon taking care of it, and Blanks would end up injured on that play. He would return to action in this one, and Tanner Milan, his first catch of the game, gonna get it underneath. Nice little move for some additional yards, and it'll bring up a second down and short. 9 minutes to go in the second. Milam in motion on this one, and this play worked beautifully, running it to the other way against USC. Not quite as fruitful on this occasion, but beneficial nonetheless. Quick blitz, quick throw. Peaks cannot hang on. His catching is a little in the middle as well, but we see that route running and ability to separate out of the break on display once again, but also see a little bit of the deficiencies in his game. Nice pickup by Tanner Milam on the block, and Tyson maneuvers his way for a first down on the swing screen. Play action from Barnes. Gonna go for more this time. He cannot reel it in. Punched out on the spot. Nice play on the ball. Bentley gonna move over from the left to the right. Gonna shift again here. Go back to the left. Split tight ends out of the pistol. Play action from Barnes. Gonna bootleak McLawler. Would love to lead him a little more to that sideline. Cannot quite reel it in. If we could get it more on the sideline, can probably get the safety less involved. I don't know how much we would have been able to get the initial defender who was underneath him out of the way, but we could have at least made it a easier contested catch. Plenty of room for Spencer Strickland, and he gets a first down just outside of the red zone. 21-yard line. We go with the no huddle. 3 verticals to the right and kind of a mesh to the left. Not necessarily, but similar in effect. And we get it to Milam again. His second catch of the first half. Barnes off the play action. Outside. Airborne. Touchdown. Seawolves in the end zone. TV 5. The electricity on display. And the Heisman pose. Hold out in Reno. Just over 6 minutes to go in this first half. And Sonoma State has a 2-score lead for the first time today. Pace on the spot. Cannot make a play. Ends up being a catch and a first down here, as we cannot get to the backside action quick enough with the BVC pipe. Yikes, all kinds of out of context things you could use that clip for. On the ground again, Ashton Haynes swallowed up. Run defense showing up very well in this first half. Quick to the flat, pace all over it, and it is a third down and 9. Van Claiborne drops, pace with the pressure, gets home and takes down Lewis, unblocked. Off the left. You're going to see it here on the replay. I feel like players don't do this a ton, but he actually seems to readjust his route to get himself unblocked. It feels like they end up sticking on such a straight line all the time. So nice to see a little self-awareness from Terrell Pace. Nice to see some room for Keontae Tyson, and cheese please, and an awkward finish for number 7 as he takes it into Nevada territory. And off play action, the cloud corner kills me, intercepted, going the other way for UNR. Chased down. Look at the tight ends showing off the hustle. Scotty Mack and Maverick Bentley saving a pick 6 before the half here. Lewis pressured again, gets it out to the flat, miss a couple of tackles, ends up being a gain of 8. Not awful. 2nd and 8 from the 10, just on the other side of the 2-minute timeout. On the wheel, touchdown. That is Haynes out of the backfield from Brandon Lewis, and Nevada cashing in off the turnover. We had a lot of momentum going for us, and they do a great job of stealing some before the break. Can we get it back? Deep corner from Peaks. Use it essentially as like a deep kind of seam route, kind of fade seam fade. I don't know what you would want to call that. But first down, big play, picking on Gabe Pepper. We've done it a couple times in this first half. Should have come to SSU, dog, with all due respect. Wish you the best, but just letting you know. Here we go. 1st and 10 from the 30. Barnes is going to keep. Spin move! No, I was trying to throw it out super late on the screen, but the option to do that went away right as I hit the button. And the B button is the spin move button when it is not a throwing option. So we get a nice little showcase of the moves from TB5 as he gets near a first down. And Milan, his 3rd catch of this first half, inside the 5 down to the 2. No huddle. Tyson, ground game, physical. Don't know if he's related to Mike Tyson, but Keontae Tyson runs the ball fierce. Not much fierce about the celebration, but Sonoma State back up 2 scores with 14 seconds before the half. Nevada back with the ball, likely looking to run it out, and we get a little too cute and out of position. Solomon too aggressive, Riggins too aggressive, Haynes 20, 10, no, he's caught at the 2-yard line to salvage absolute disaster before the half. But you see the big plays in the passing game coming for both teams. 24-14, Nevada getting the ball first out of the break as George Lincoln sends it away, looking to move on from that final play of the half right there. And we don't do it too well with some terrible special teams play. I feel like we've had some pretty good special teams play. Not on that occasion, but Bubba Van Claiborne, the pipe, is getting home for a sack through the A-gap. Drop off Dean as a spy there after occupying an interior lineman. Get the free run from Van Claiborne, and that is at least our 3rd sack of the game. Drop 8 into coverage. Someone still gets open, and it'll set up a 3rd and manageable for Nevada. I just keep thinking of every special teams coach I ever had in football still yelling about that kickoff, about staying in your lanes. I can hear my rugby coach talking about how we got to come up as one line, not give them bigger gaps than they should have. All kinds of things. But the run defense back in action, Ashton Haynes swallowed up. Outside of that 75-yard run that almost went for a touchdown before the half, I believe he had just 7 carries for like 8 yards or something. So we were doing a great job. Solomon challenged deep, all over it. What a season Nico Solomon is putting in this year. His 2nd takeaway, putting the cap on the defense. I haven't had to say that in a long time because it has not been as much of an issue, and that is a huge credit to Nico Solomon, and he gets an interception right there. Love seeing that, love seeing the improvement, and love seeing Barnes avoid the safety. Would have also loved to see him get it out quicker to Jackson Gregory, who was open. But 3rd and 9, gonna be safe here. Put it in the hands of the freshman Nolan Knight. I don't think he carried the ball against the Gauchos. I think he had a negative yardage reception and was shut out in the run game. So good to get him back into the highlights. Almost picked up a first down, couldn't quite break away. And I do not know what Garrick Robinson is doing there on the punt. Lets it bounce, and Matthew York's net will look fantastic after that. 1st and 10. Lewis throwing underneath. Van Claiborne all over it, incomplete. And we have done a much better job in the completion percentage department in this game. We have not done a much better job in the yards per completion department in this game. man, again, I don't want to get too into that. The last game, 19 of 20, weren't allowing a ton of big plays in the passing game. Tackling exhibition from the Wolves right there. But everything was complete, so it wasn't a great performance in the passing game, where this game, we're actually forcing a good amount of incompletions, just a lot more of them are for chunk plays, as Devin Skates gets home. 4th different Seawolf with a sack. In this one today, we love to see that, as number 94 gets himself into the rotation in this showdown between sets of Wolves. The Wolfpack, and what are the Seawolves? A school of Wolves? I'm not sure. Barnes on the outside off the play-action boot. Gonna get down, looking to get the first points of this second half, midway through the third quarter. Both teams shut out. More end around, blocked from Gregory, plenty of room, in pursuit, unnecessary move, and Nevada tracks him down, but not before a gain of 33 for number 10. And we move Peaks here. I like how he stays into block. We'll love if he kind of broke out to pick someone up a little more meaningful, as Spencer Strickland hurdles a photographer on the sideline there and gets a big play. Peaks on the edge. Cheese, please! Tackled inside the 5 as he shows off the shiftiness, but again, we see the speed. Sooner or later becomes an issue, no matter how much separation he creates. Barnes trying to get it to Bentley. Maybe should have just challenged it to the corner there, but want to be unselfish. Felt like Bentley might go up and get it. Out to Gregory in the flat. He is caught, and since a field goal keeps it a 2-score game, I kind of feel like up 13 with the ball in normal field position versus up 10 with them backed up. I almost prefer them backed up with us still up 2 possessions. So might as well go for it, try to make it a 3-possession game, and after some moving around, a walk-in touchdown for Keontae Tyson. His second of the game, rocking the baby, and the O-line is fired up. The right side, from the center to the right side. We saw Tariq Williams, Miguel Weeks, and Suachu all in on the celebration. We love to get after it in the run game, so we definitely like to celebrate those touchdowns. Taj Coles, who came in for Jaquez Blanks, had a shot right there. Cannot bring him down. Still get a tremendous contest on the outside from Jaden Bowie. You'll see it again right here. The coverage just so much better for the most part. Even right there, we're right on him. Allow the completion. Oh well, we'll take that. That's our job. On the ground, bottling up Ashton Haynes, who outside of that just really aggravating run before the half that really could have changed the game if he did get into the end zone. Other than that, he has been very much shut out in this game. You see it again there, underneath, just not quite able to get the full adjustment of what I wanted to do, and we get someone wide open over the middle for a chunk play. Moving around. Quick out, and we see the spot, drop, and lock work perfectly there. Riggins picks up the bubble. Van Claiborne coming free off the blitz, and we swallow it up. Garrett Robinson. Tough day for him. He's taken a couple of shots. Lewis on the move. Maybe would have gotten caught by Kai Riggins from behind. I'm not sure, but he throws it away, and it is a 3rd down. From the pocket, Lewis to the outside. Pace all over it. Going to bring up a 4th down, and the Wolfpack in the 4th quarter now in a bit of desperation. Rush getting there. That is KJ Hartley, the other guy who came in for Jaquez Blanks. Van Claiborne picks it up, runs it back to the 4, and this defense, 5 sacks from 5 different players. How we want to do it, can't quite hit Peaks as he gets separation on the out route right there. You see they shade that DB to the left a little more to the outside, so why not come back and hit him with a slant? Peaks, touchdown, Noma, very much in control, and decided to go for 2 here, make it a 4-score game, just really put them out of their misery, so to speak, because 23-24, whatever, but 3 possessions, 4 possessions, much bigger deal. Here we go. Man in motion, McLawler looking to set up the blocking. Play action, jailbreak, absolute clinic on how to catch a football from CJ Peaks. Just kidding. That is one of the worst things I have ever seen from a receiver, and that is the #1 target on our team. The balance between looking like Jerry Rice and Kevin White is absolutely insane. Trayon Bell laying the wood on the special teams, swallowed up at the 11 after a nice placement kick by George Lincoln. Lewis down the middle, LeBourne all over it, and it is second down as this defense looks to continue what has so far been a second half shutout. A little more room right there in the passing game. That's number 18, Marcus Bellon. First time I have called his name does not mean it's his first huge play, but this is a huge play. Bellon wide open, Bowie and Chase not gonna catch him, and the Wolfpack not quite dead yet. And you'll see it here, very annoying. I get Bowie is in a bail technique, and he's probably not gonna see LeBourne, who's the safety, but LeBourne should be keying off the number 2 receiver anyway, so why he can't get out of the way to avoid creating a natural pick on our own corner, I don't know. Awesome. But they go for 2 there, which I think is absolutely ridiculous, because now it remains a 3-possession game instead of going to a 2-possession game. But whatever, we'll take it. Barnes on the keeper, 2nd and inches. Cut out a couple of just uneventful runs. I don't know, I kind of get caught between like, oh, I want to show every single play, but then like, well, it's between I want to show the game flow and want to show in the highlights. Play action, get out there, block and release Bentley. Strickland on the ground up the middle here. He picks up 6, sets up a 2nd down and 4, and we're going to set up a vicious play action boot double corner concept. Barnes is going to set, wide open peaks. Moore sets up a block, walk in, dagger, touchdown. Noma, number 18, CJ Peaks. The crowd is silent. He knows it. The Lady Seawolves going crazy. Also some male cheerleaders in there. CJ Peaks, number 18, a couple of 4th quarter touchdowns. He's had a couple of big-time catches in this game. Part of what has been a big-time breakout season for number 18. Of course, aided by the transfer of Javion Foreman and Scooter Page, the loss of our top 2 targets in the passing game. Certainly left some question marks as to who would be the leader on the outside for us, and number 18 has answered authoritatively this season, and this defense keeping the pressure on. 2nd and inches, 4.5 minutes to go, 24-point game. Having given away points on that last 2-point try, just decided to take the extra point here. Can't get over to close that gap with Van Claiborne quick enough, followed that initial route a little too far inside. Lewis takes advantage. He really has done a nice job finding some windows in this game. I genuinely feel like our coverage has, I've figured out what I'm trying to do with this coverage a little more. Not on that play, as Robinson gets loose and inside the 10-yard line for a chunk gain. Dropping off Underwood. He's in the passing lane. Knocks it down after I got cooked in coverage, if you didn't notice. Lewis flushed. Nothing going on. 4th down and goal, 2:41. Lewis up in the pocket to the right. Need Riggins to just go get him. There's no one there to guard, bro. That is all right, Kai. We will work on that in the offseason. Not even the offseason. We're going to start working on that next practice in the film room immediately, right? Always looking to get better because that's how it is. 2-point good, 2-score game. Not totally out of it yet is Nevada as they hold all 3 timeouts. Go for the onside. Holland gets it. I tapped the square button to just surrender, and of course they're like, well, that means we're going to hit stick you. But anyway, 3rd and 3, stupid decision on both the play call and the throw decision. Luckily, we're able to tuck it inside enough to keep it from being an interception, and York is going to get one down inside the 10. A perhaps overlooked but extremely good season from number 48, Matthew York, the senior punter and kicker. Dual duty. Here we go. 1st and 10. Lewis from the pocket. All day. Looks left. Van Claiborne had his paws on it. Couldn't reel it in. 2nd and 10. Lewis from the pocket again. A lot of passing in this second half. And Pace gets this one. His 2nd game icing interception. Although this one was a lot more of the game felt truly over when he did it. I probably didn't word that well. Anyway, 2nd time he has gotten an interception to, in effect, end a game. We will settle for a field goal here due to some poor clock management from me, but it makes it a 19-point game inside 30 seconds, 47-28. All day for Lewis again. We're sitting in the prevent. Blanks constantly moving around. Always active. Forsyth in chase and gets him at the 5. And Nevada, you got to give them credit. They are not giving up as they get to the line and spike the ball with 4 seconds left, because that's all the time you need to come back down 19 points. Aggressive. Lewis pressured again. Dean almost got him. Forsyth cleans it up. He gets back-to-back sacks to end the game. We get a true exclamation point, an additional 2 points on the final play of the game today with a safety, our second safety of the season. Got one against Syracuse as well, and Noma in the win column. Bowl eligible with our 6th victory, and back on track after what was a very complete outing from the fellas today. Gave up 426 yards. You see it there, 19 rushes for 15 yards. Gave up 411 yards passing, but you see on 61% completion, got a couple of interceptions, and had 7 sacks. And outside of that 75-yard run from Ashton Haynes, 10 carries for 9 yards. So, again, not saying that those big plays don't matter. We still need to minimize those, but in effect, this was a very good example of how our defense works. Gonna probably give up some chunk plays because we're doing some things and, in effect, being aggressive. But at the same time, I think there's enough deception, and at this point, I've had enough tweaking with the defense where I truly understand how I'm trying to adjust each scheme, and I think we got a really good taste of how things will look when we are running at our best. The scores from this week's games. Before we go, Louisiana Lafayette 42-31 over Tulsa. Texas A&M 38-24 over the Gamecocks in South Carolina. Army wins at 34-12 over Air Force. Georgia State 21-13 over Georgia Southern. Ohio State, a very impressive win, 52-31 over Nebraska. Sam Houston 31-16 over El Paso. LSU 24-7 over the Tigers of Auburn. Georgia gets the best of Florida 32-24, although a much better outing from the Gators as opposed to a year ago in that game. Michigan 38-20 over K-State. UCF 37-20 over USF in the war on I-4. And Mississippi State with an upset of the Crimson Tide of Alabama 24-17. But we will see you next time as we take on the Bears of Berkeley.